From the Blue Ridge Mountains to the Chesapeake Bay, Virginia is a mecca for outdoor travel and adventure. Virginia Outdoor Adventures podcast is your local guide for hiking, camping, kayaking, travel, and so much more. Get the information and the inspiration to plan your own adventure right here in Virginia. I'm your host, Jessica Bowser. The mountains of Appalachia wrap around Big Stone Gap like a warm embrace, creating a community where outdoor adventure, history, and culture converge. Town manager Steve Lawson describes how the community has transformed from its coal mining roots into a vibrant outdoor recreation destination. The town's crown jewel is the Greenbelt Trail, a scenic paved path following the Powell River through the heart of town. Just minutes away, the Powell River Trail offers a rail-to-trail experience featuring historic tunnels and visible coal seams that tell the story of the region's mining past. Adventure seekers will fall in love with scenic Big Cherry Lake, which offers fishing, hiking, paddling, and wildlife watching. Round out your Big Stone Gap experience with museums, outdoor theater, music festivals, and a culinary scene that tops off this adventure town's charm. Let's go! Virginia Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Breaks Interstate Park. Breaks Park is a hiking destination in the heart of Appalachia. Every trail features something that will awe you, including geologic formations, scenic views of the canyon, stream crossings, and wildlife viewing. Trails range from easy to difficult. The convenience of lodges, campgrounds, and luxury cabins inside the park means you'll never need to wander far from the trail. Come see for yourself why Breaks is known as the Grand Canyon of the South. Download the digital trail guide at breakspark.com or click on Breaks Interstate Park in the show notes of your listening app. Steve, welcome to Virginia Outdoor Adventures.
Well, thanks for having me. Excited to be on.
What do you love about Big Stone Gap?
Oh, what's there not to love? Love the people, love the scenery. Of course, I grew up loving the outdoors, and there's plenty of outdoor adventure here. So I grew up here, so it's really nice to be back home, familiar territory. And the mountains sort of around here give you a hug. I always felt like coming back that I was home when I saw the mountains and I rode into this valley.
I love that so much. When you and I were together in Big Stone Gap and we were driving around the town and you were showing me around, you said that to me. And I said, oh my gosh, Steve, you have to say that when we record, because it was just it's such a lovely image of the town, but also of the region. Like you were talking about going away and then coming back and how you felt like the mountains welcomed you back by giving you a hug. And I just thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I'll probably say it more than once as we go through this, because that is the way I think about it, and have even heard other people explain it that way too. Once I say something like that, that really is a familiar feeling, for people that are here a lot.
Could you describe Big Stone Gap for the listeners?
Well, Big Stone Gap is one of the friendliest places that you'll ever visit. All the people are genuine. They want to know why you're here and want to be helpful in showing you, what we've got to offer. It's beautiful. The mountains not only hug you, but they're just beautiful. They're different than a lot of mountains that you see. The Appalachian region is a little different in the way the valleys run and rivers, and Big Stone has a little bit of all of that. We're surrounded by a river on both sides, the downtown is, and then the town itself is surrounded by, the mountains. Just a beautiful little valley.
How many people are actually living in Big Stone Gap?
Right now we have about 5,300 people in the town limits of Big Stone Gap. People that call ourselves Big Stone Gapians, there's about 15,000, because we go into the other parts of Wise County before you get to the other towns and stuff. The county's pretty big around us. So we're the biggest town in Wise County. Pretty much all the land mass beside the mountains is already taken up with people living, because it's a beautiful place to live and make a home and raise children.
Could you, Steve, say a little something about the history of the town? Because I think it has a really fascinating history.
The town was founded in 1856 as a coal mining town. As coal boomed and as coal came in and out, it sort of moves up and down like agriculture and, different other industries. That's sort of the way Big Stone went. So when Big Stone was actually founded, it was for its iron ore. The people coming out of the North thought it'd be the Pittsburgh of the South. That's how much iron ore that was found in the local area and around. So Big Stone's sort of like the core of the coal mining area around here. So there's not a active coal mines that was ever in Big Stone Gap. That was more for the offices and where the foremans and the bosses and the owners and stuff lived. So this has always been sort of set up as the place to live.
And now it's a great hub for outdoor recreation and music and culture. Steve, how long have you lived in Big Stone Gap and why did you choose to come back and stay?
I'm sort of a boomerang. When I graduated high school, I couldn't wait to leave Big Stone Gap and go see what the world had to offer. I left, went to college at Berea College in Kentucky, got a BS in agriculture. I grew up a farmer here and went out and did the agricultural thing for a while and then got, involved in town stuff and city stuff. I was in Macon, Georgia, my last job before I came back here to be the town manager of Big Stone Gap. It's just sort of one of those things that happen to you in life that you don't know why it happened, but you're dang sure glad it did. The position come open and I applied for it. And just as soon as I sat in that room and was going through the interview, I was so excited to be back. And I don't know why I ever left. I've been back for about 7 years now. It's been a wonderful journey. Coming back, we started having a bunch of events and doing outdoor stuff and everything from exercising to running races to kayak things to just getting people involved, kids fishing day, trying to do things to get more participation with that. It had been an event that had been happening a lot, but just trying to do it, trying to revamp it. And so we called it Be the Change, and we wanted to be the change for the area and redefine ourselves as what I remembered it as a kid was like, the parents and the kids and everybody was active and everybody was doing things. And so we started having downtown street parties and just all kinds of events and music and stuff with it. And people started coming out and we became a community again. And that sort of spread to other communities around us. Southwest Virginia is really noted for working together, as families and stuff. So the coal mines, everybody was an immigrant. All of our fathers and the people that worked in the mines, learned to work together and learn things about each other. And that influenced our own music, our churches, our culture, everything about us. We continue that when things are going good. We share that information and our outdoor rec, some of the things you do, you'll be walking on a trail that's Big Stone Gap property and then walk through National Forest and then be in a whole nother town or a whole nother, the city of Norton or wherever. And we all are just as proud of that trail as anything else that we got. We don't own it, we share it. And that's the really unique and great thing about our area.
Steve, let's jump into the outdoor recreation opportunities in and around town. Can you kick us off by telling us about some of the biking and cycling opportunities?
Around town, one of the great things is our Greenbelt. It's a little over 3 miles. Just as soon as I get through with the day, I can't wait to put on a pair of shorts and go grab my bike and ride the Greenbelt. That's sort of my closure of the night. After maybe I'll get something to eat. Maybe I'll ride the Greenbelt before I get something to eat. But it runs, from the center of town all the way around the outskirts of town, and it follows the Powell River and two different branches of the Powell River. So you can actually see where it comes back together on its way to Tennessee, and lots of wildlife. I mean, there's bears, there's birds, there's deer, there's anything in that stretch because it puts you back out in nature. It's far enough away from parts of it. When you get out of the town itself, right along the river, you're in the woods too. But it's a paved, handicapped, accessible, trail that runs, like I said, all the way around the town and then heads to our, neighboring town of Appalachia, where they have another trail that's called the Powell River Trail. We had the opportunity to ride it together. It features two tunnels. One that's unique because it was once known as the shortest tunnel in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's since been disproved, and there's a shorter one in China or someplace overseas. But we still claim it as a very short, nice tunnel that's really nice to ride your bike through and again be close to nature because the river changes during that whole time. The fishing changes if you're a fisherman. If you love to be, any kind of angling stuff, the smallmouth fishing is great. The trout fishing is great. Just lots of things to do there.
Both of these trails I thought were so lovely. but also just like so welcoming. I mean, the Greenbelt, because it's so easily accessible from the middle of town, it's almost like you have such a gem there because it runs along the river and it's so pretty and so easy to get to. If you
No,
don't
that
have your own bike, you can get a bike from the visitor center to ride the trail, right?
And that's true. The visitor center has bikes available. It's the heartbeat of the town. The visitor center is, and you can really, come there, get all the information that you need about other trails, hiking opportunities, all of our, downtown entertainment, just anything is, right there at the visitor center. But our bikes usually get rented. Pretty quickly. Just about everybody that lives along the green belt has bikes. So you'll see families that ride into town to get ice cream or this or that, and then head back out to Bullet Park to swing or play on the splash pad or do whatever. I have people that ride it to get to work. I have kids that ride it to come downtown or go to the library. I mean, there's just a whole lot of connection points, along the way, and lots of places to enter the Greenbelt too.
And then the Powell River Trail, when we rode it, I thought it was so gorgeous. I mean, again, runs parallel to the river, but the way it passes through the different tunnels that used to be a railroad, because it's a rail to trail, I just thought it was so unique. Do you remember when we were standing at the entrance of one of the tunnels and we were looking at the vein of coal that ran through the rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
totally, that surprised me because I didn't know that that's what coal looked like.
that's a unique part of that trail. That is one of I mean, the Powell River Trail is in the town of Appalachia. I will give it, it's the most scenic rails to trail that I've ever been on. I mean,
Yeah.
just the uniqueness of how it crosses the river and the points that it does and the rapids and, the rock formations that you see going down through there. And then you go through, the first short tunnel. The second tunnel sort of catches you by surprise because it's darker and longer, as you go through it. But then you come out of it, and on the way back, you see that coal seam, and like you say, if you've never seen it, what coal looks like, you can see how far underground it is. Lots of people just think that, especially since strip mining started, that, they just take off some of the top of the mountain and the coal's right there. Coal is wherever the seam is. It's a great billboard to what this part of the country is all about.
It was just stunning. There were streams coming down off the mountains. There was a small waterfall. You even pointed out a cave to me, like up in the
Yeah.
rocks as we were riding by that I never would have seen if you hadn't pointed it out. And all along we were seeing families. Some were leisurely walking, some were riding bikes. I know that there are fishing access points from the trail. So everybody looked like they were just really enjoying it.
Yeah, the talk of the town right now is there's a bald eagle that's been frequenting both the Greenbelt Trail and the Powell River Trail and been fishing. So there's people talking about that and just going out just to get a chance to see the bald eagle flying around. Our area had seen a decline, but here lately in the last couple of years, we're seeing more and more sightings like all the time. So it's really nice that it's not just something that you see once in a lifetime or something anymore. That it's really coming back.
Your adventure starts in the heart of Appalachia. Hike and bike through breathtaking mountain landscapes, paddle peaceful rivers winding through hidden hollows, or cast your line in crystal clear streams teeming with trout. Craving something truly unique? Hop on an ATV and ride the rugged Spearhead Trail, some of the best in the East. Take a scenic drive through winding back roads, explore the Grand Canyon of the South at Breaks Park, or go on an elk tour and witness these majestic creatures roaming free. Whether you're looking for heart-pounding outdoor adventure or peaceful moments in nature, the heart of Appalachia has got what you need. Dine, celebrate, shop, and rest well in the heart of all things fun, the heart of Appalachia, Virginia's treasured Southwest. Begin your mountain escape by clicking on Heart of Appalachia in your show notes. I want to jump on to paddling because with all of this river access, there are opportunities for paddling too.
Yes, for people that don't have their kayaks, we have Clinch River Life that does two floats on the river and has a shuttle service to take you, from here and to access points to where you can get on the river, kayaks that you can get and paddle down the river. Here in Southwest we have a lot of diversity of like everything, from flora along the trails to the way the rivers run. So some rivers are more adaptable to fishing and wading, and they're not as deep. And then some are more, susceptible to floating and kayaking and things like that. Within 15 or 20 minutes, you can do anything with paddling and kayaking and see the same kind of scenery that you talked about on the Greenbelt Trail. You just got to come back and kayak sometime.
Oh, I do. I definitely need to come back because we had a very bizarre cold spell and a lot of rain when I was there. And that was so depressing. So even though I was in town for several days, it felt like it just wasn't enough. Like I need to come back because there were so many things that I didn't get to experience. And that's what impressed me a lot about Big Stone Gap is it's a small town, but there's a lot to do. And there's a lot of attractions and there's a lot of outdoor recreation opportunities. I felt like I could have been there for a couple of weeks. But one of my favorite places in town was Big Cherry Lake. Can you tell us about that?
Big Cherry Lake is like my favorite weekend place, to head to and go, especially in the summertime. Not just me, but my family, my dogs, everything loves to go to the lake. I can just say the word lake and everything gets excited and jumps in the Jeep. We have almost 3,000 acres up there. The current boat ramp is being, you can launch. But we're working on, some improvements, up there to do more outdoor recreation things up there that we'll get into in a minute. It's our water source for not only our town, but several other towns, around us. Right on the top of the mountain basin. It's 4,200 feet at the top, and the lake drops down to our water plant at 3,000 feet. So, but it's right on High Knob. You do at this time need a four-wheel drive to assess it and to get there. That's more from the winter, thaw, and heavy rains. By summer, you can take a good front-wheel drive, vehicle up there and access the lake and stuff.
I didn't think it
It's
was bad at all, the road. I mean, you were
it's
saying to
not.
me this is
uh,
the worst time of the year for it, and I still didn't think it was bad. I think anybody could probably get up there.
It's really hard to explain until you see it because you're going up a dirt road. Expect to see any kind of wildlife at, any time that's, here for our region. All kinds of this time of year, flowers blooming and things coming out. And then all of a sudden you get to the top and there's this huge lake of blue water. And if the sun's just right, it's just almost majestic. Our lake is stocked with by the game and inland fisheries here in Virginia. Trout and bass, we shock it at routine times during the year, and they go back and study what's there and stock it back up. A lot of people here in the region, it's kept secret for a long time. So a lot of families and a lot of people had their own little oasis or, own little private, place to go. And as word's getting out for other visitors to come, which is what we want, we're glad that people were able to see that we got something that special up there.
Yes, I think it was absolutely beautiful. And I did some hiking while I was there too. So I think this is a good segue into hiking because you have been adding some nice trails to the area around the lake too.
Yeah, we've been working on trails pretty hard. A lot of them we don't have completely marked, yet. The trails are easily accessible and you can tell where you're going, but we haven't advertised them all because we don't want people getting lost before I get my own ranger guy up there to make sure everybody's safe. The trails that we do have around the lake are easily accessible. Depending on what you want to see, we walked out a short one to a bluff to where we were overlooking the valley, standing on a rock cliff. Very good picture opportunity and to see some of the diversity of the trees and the different things that are happening there on the side of the mountain. And then the trail that you walked actually joins into a forestry trail that goes to the Devil's Bathtub in Scott County, Virginia. As you walk that trail, you get a lot of terrain change. Again, you're out there along the lake. You can walk out to some places that just not many people have been to or frequent a lot. You can see the naturalness of the forest itself, because off of that trail, there's really been no activity, back in there. We allow hunting but, usually people go and hunt the same places and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, I would say, virgin forest. It's been over 70 years since any trees or anything's been cut up there. It's really a different place than most places that hikers would go.
Right. And you were telling me you've got some big plans for Big Cherry Lake in the future, right?
Yes, we put several grants together. Our biggest one being a reclamation grant from Virginia Energy and Amler that helps places that have been mined before and needs reclamation. So we got some money from them to put cabins, boat dock, a fishing dock. A nighttime, we're going to keep everything up there just as natural as we can. We're calling it Into the Wild. It's going to be our catchphrase for up there. We're going to keep the night sky, have a place for people to go and take their telescope and look at the stars at night. Of course, we'll have a general store and a bathhouse and a place to get food and just essentials, kayak rentals to where you can go to a smaller dock on across the lake and get out and have a primitive camping spot back in the woods where everything's set for you except your tent and the things that you normally need. We're also going to have some yurts, some glamping opportunity, and three or four cabins that are more set up for seniors and people that like the outdoors but don't want to really get into outdoors but so much. So we'll have a few camping spots for them too that they can just go to the general store and get their stuff and sit on the cabin porch.
It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. Standing on the spot where you're planning to build the cabins and you pointing out to me where everything is going to be and the store will be over here and the yurts will be over there. And I could just see it coming to life. And I could also just see the sparkle in your eyes, Steve. Like I could tell you're so excited for this and for the town.
Yeah, it's a big project and everybody's excited about it. It's been a long time coming. We try to do everything really special, and we got some things in there that we think are going to be really special and really popular. I always have some kind of little quirk to me. All my employees and stuff always make fun of me for, what's going to be the Steve thing that he puts into this thing or whatever. So for this project, I'm going to do some teepees and maybe have one big center teepee, but with some little family teepees over to the side so that that whole section could be something for like family reunion stuff or a couple of families getting together or stuff and taking the kids and really trying to do it upright and have some history of the Native Americans and what went on the mountains. Chief Benji's Trail and some of that stuff goes very close by, and it's a big part of our heritage too. I mean, the Native Americans really spent a lot of time in these mountains, so we want to sort of honor that too.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. But as of right now, it's still relatively primitive. And can people camp there now if they want to or no?
You can camp there now, but you do have to get permission from town hall. So you would call town hall, and I will give you a permission slip to go up and camp.
Okay. But as of right now, it's pretty primitive. So you drive up there and you're not going to see any of the things that you just mentioned.
No, that's right. But for again, like your listeners and the people that they'll be excited and they'll automatically know where some of the trailheads are. The trail you walked on, I mean, there's a trailhead that's started to be built, and by summertime we'll have something up there, and then that trail's marked so you can get back there and get back and forth very easily. You see the water, and if you got a kayak on top of your car, you can spend all day up there just kayaking. I mean, even if you don't fish, it's just that beautiful. It's interesting. You said something about 2 weeks and needing 2 weeks to come to the area. We usually tell everybody a week, and people think that's an economic development ploy or something to get you to stay here to eat and spend money. But truly, you can't do everything within 30 minutes or of this town, the center of this town. It would take you 2 weeks to get everything done. And
Yes. Especially when it comes to hiking, because so many of my listeners really love hiking. I think I drove 20 or 30 minutes to the brand new High Knob Destination Center in Norton. And from there, the amount of things to do that they were giving me. I want to thank Katie and Megan who work at the Destination Center. They were just piling trail maps and pamphlets and brochures and booklets and all kinds of things into my arms. And I'm standing there going, oh my gosh, I need a month. Like there's just so much to do. And the High Knob Fire Tower is not far from there either. And these are like iconic places in Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. And you don't realize it when you're on the lake. When you hit the end of the trail that you were on, you were about maybe a quarter mile, maybe just a little bit more than that from the tower. I mean, just down the road, and it's right there. So everything, the connectivity of everything, when we get our Big Cherry project, done, and there's a high knob plan that has all the trails and everything coming together. That includes all of our towns and all of our cities and stuff, and it's going to be a masterpiece when we get it done.
It already is a masterpiece, so I can't wait to see what it's going to look like in the future. Steve, I wanted to ask you about fishing, but you did already mention that Big Cherry Lake is a great location, and so is Powell River. So let me ask you about birding instead, because I know that a lot of my listeners are into birds. So are there good locations for birding in town?
We have a dedicated group of birders that come to the visitor center, and they all get together and walk the Greenbelt, and they've all got their notes and they've all got their little books, and it's such an exciting group of people to see. Like when they're getting started and getting ready to go. They go, and not just the Greenbelt, they also go to Big Cherry, and they also go to the Powell River Trail. They're an excited group. I mean, they post and show, and they come back, and they get together and eat. After they walk the 3 miles, they come back and still meet together and compare notes on what they saw. And it's an interesting group of people. Of course, Big Cherry Lake, who knows what all is up there. I mean,
well, what did we see? As soon as we got out of the truck, there was a common loon, I think, diving in the water, right?
Right. There was a common loon. Ked and I saw a grouse coming off the mountain.
Yes. How exciting is that?
Eagles up there all the time. It's just almost crazy. We want to open it up and let people come and see what we got, but we also want to keep it maintained in such a way that it's still wild. And all that stuff still, exists, and people do get to see all of these different God's creations that are out there for us to see. They're meant to see, and when they're in abundance, that's what this is all about. Is trying to get people up there to see it.
Yes. And I will say I did find a checklist online of species that were found in the area lately, and it's an impressive number. And I think it's because you have such diverse ecosystems. I mean, you've got the river that runs through town, but then once you get up to the lake, you're up at higher elevation. So you see things like grouse and loons and more eagles. So it's just, there's a lot of different habitats that a birder can explore.
About 20 miles away, 15 miles away, there's the town of Wise, and then there is University of Virginia at Wise. And they have classes that come, to Big Cherry to study the flora, to study the birds.
And I think I read somewhere that the Southwest Virginia Museum is a Virginia bird sanctuary. Is that right?
That's correct. It is a Virginia bird sanctuary.
And that's great, because then anytime somebody's visiting the museum, they should just add a few extra minutes so that they can walk around the outside of the museum and bird.
That's right. And most people around town, whether it's, especially along the Greenbelt, whether it's a hummingbird feeder or having some bird feeders out or this or that, there's lots of opportunity to see birds.
Join us next week as Steve and I dive into Big Stone Gap's local attractions, including museums, outdoor theater, music festivals, and a culinary scene that tops off this adventure town's charm. You won't want to miss an exciting giveaway for a pair of tickets to Blue Highway Fest, one of the largest bluegrass festivals that celebrates Appalachia's rich music heritage. Virginia Outdoor Adventures is inspired by and supported by listeners like you, which is why your messages and feedback mean so much to me. You can text me directly by clicking on Send Jessica a Text Message in your show notes. I answer questions, respond to comments, and share your feedback on the show. Never miss a new episode. Sign up for my email newsletter and receive my listener resource guide with the top podcast episodes, a Virginia Outdoor bucket list, and exclusive brand discounts for my listeners. Click on newsletter sign up in your show notes or visit virginiaoutdooradventures.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, adventure on.